fifth or third on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boy stocks on the rise.
It's week 2 of the National Football League, and the spotlight is on Justin Herbert. He got his reps in last week, finishing with over 300 passing yards. It's the Chargers and the Chiefs on Thursday night.
It is perhaps the best home field advantage in all of football, and certainly the loudest, as we welcome you inside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Tonight, we're on to week 2 in the NFL season, as we've got a good one here between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our 2 quarterbacks, certainly 2 of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. Jerick McKinnon to take it out of the end zone. Time to get our first look at one of the star faces of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes and his Kansas City offense. Really the gold standard among NFL offenses since he became the starter in 2018.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. What's a normal season for him? It's probably a career year for 99% of the other quarterbacks in the game today. 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 4th straight trip to the AFC title game. He's making sure that all of us understand what he is doing is sometimes beyond spectacular, and his team follows accordingly. When he's under center, KC always has a shot.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Room here to run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That good for 19 and a first down.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
First and 10, here's Mahomes. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. The Chiefs at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1. And they were able to get that road victory in the opener. And now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business. First down pickup by Mecole Hardman, and this season is really his big chance to emerge and break out. Last 3 years, he's been second fiddle among KC's track star receivers, but with Tyreek Hill gone now, this is Mecole Hardman's opportunity to take on a bigger role in the offense.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Completes it to Hardman. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked picked up by J.C. Jackson. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
The Charger offense makes its way out for the first time in this ball game, and leading the way, already a star in just his third season, it's Justin Herbert.
It feels like hyperbole, but it's actually reality. In only 2 seasons, we've seen Justin Herbert do things rarely or never seen before in the NFL. He's one of only 9 quarterbacks now with a 5,000-yard passing season and made the Chargers a top 5 offense for the first time since 2010. He's also the only quarterback to ever throw at least 30 touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons and set a record for completions over that same span.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it's second down. Herbert now. He'll drop this one off to Eckler. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. So the completion gets him just a yard. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. This defense for the Chiefs, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can poll all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there'd be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you, and you know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys that have a little extra pep in their step, you go to them early and often.
This is swung out to Eckler. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Herbert, throw left side, complete. That's Williams. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Herbert off of play action. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw it for a loss.
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 5. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
We'll see if they do that. Second quarter from KC. It's the Chiefs in possession of the football. go for it. It's Mahomes. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, come.
Herbert has it knocked free, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and you didn't knock the ball free, your coaches are upset with you. All right, so if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back in the youth leagues. Take care of the ball, take care of the ball, take care of the ball, because here come the defenders.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. He'll throw from the gun. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Now how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now here's Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
On the slant, he's got Hardman. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 20-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Rotates Hardman for another catch. Touchdown! Nicole Hardman, his first touchdown of the season. And the Chiefs push the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in the 2nd quarter. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game. I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now it's Herbert. Pass is tipped, but he's still able to bring it in. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Jalen Guyton, 51 yards. And the Chargers are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Oh, this is blocked. It's picked up, a live ball here, remember. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. The 40, the 20. And he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. Well, I think I need an oxygen mask after those last 2 plays, CD. The long touchdown followed by the even longer return on the block PAT.
I wonder if after that long touchdown, if someone actually needed a play off and didn't take it, and maybe that was the breakdown in protection led to the block.
So after the block PAT, they're ready to kick this one off. Taken in at the 3. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here are the Chiefs to take over. They're leading right now and on the heels of that victory last week against Arizona. 1st and 10 as they start this drive. Looking to throw is Mahomes. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. To throw, it's Mahomes. Finding Hardman here over the middle. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That'll put him over 100 yards receiving now here in this first half of action.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route. and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 down at the 33. Mahomes on the give to Edwards-Helaire. And he's got room. And he will be brought down, but a 1st and goal coming up as we have come upon the 2-minute warning. Now Mahomes to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. On 2nd and goal, Mahomes. That's caught at the 1. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now what we have here, a 3rd and goal.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Travis Kelce. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to extend their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Extra point by Butker is on target, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. No run back here for Reed, so this will come out to the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. Oh, he's got a little daylight. He's by himself. Keenan Allen. 20. Touchdown, L.A. Keenan Allen. Halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50. And the Chargers get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And now it's blocked. Oh, on. The Chiefs have got it. Taking it right down Broadway. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And all the way into the end zone, and that's 2 points. Boy, I think I need an oxygen mask after those last 2 plays, CD. The long touchdown followed by the even longer return on the block PAT.
I wonder if after that long touchdown, if someone actually needed a play off and didn't take it, and maybe that was the breakdown in protection and led to the block.
Following the botch PAT, they're set to kick this one away. Takes it at the 7. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
On first down, Mahomes. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Mahomes to throw. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. It got his man complete. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Meanwhile, Mahomes thrown into the hands here of Hardman. And the Chiefs are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a moment. But first, the NFL season is in full swing. Let's show the good folks what we've got in store for us later this weekend here in Week 2. Some very intriguing games in that early window, highlighted by the one going on at the Superdome. A big test for the Saints as they'll face off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the late afternoon games, the place to be might very well be Denver, Colorado, where it'll be the Broncos taking on the Houston Texans. And finally, it's the season's only doubleheader on Monday night. Titans-Bills at 7:15, then Vikings-Eagles at 8:30. With that, we take a look at the next-gen stats for the Chargers in that first half. And they've had all sorts of success thus far tonight throwing the football, as they're on pace to throw for 300-plus yards if things continue the way they've been going. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary, as both of these two teams really threw the ball at will in that first half. These two coaching staffs likely going through their final adjustments for the second half. One of these teams is going to emerge 2-0. But who will it be? To find out, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Fielded just outside the goal line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now. I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Got his man, it's Williams.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. A shotgun snap for Herbert. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. There's McCole Hardman as he brings this offense onto the field yet again. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
We have seen big plays from both quarterbacks throughout this game, and there's another one right there. Going back and forth, almost like two excellent guitar soloists trying to top each other with each additional play.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
Mahomes throw complete there to Smith-Schuster. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 33. With that catch, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the night.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Completes it to Hardman. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 50 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
The Chiefs value what Edwards-Helaire brings to a backfield group, both as a runner and a receiver. Average over 60 all-purpose yards per game for them across 10 contests. They know he can produce even more if he can stay healthy for the full season.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of it.
And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And they're able to add into their advantage.
ropes because it was jab, 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 and finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Now Mahomes to the line as the Chiefs are going to go for the two-point try. Mahomes will throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the two-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on two-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational. You have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a two-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And the Chargers coming out of the field now. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
On 1st and 10, Herbert looking middle, and that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Gets it into the hands of Allen on the jet sweep. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Herbert now. Out left, he's got it to Everett. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for L.A. Hardman on the return. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Open man downfield, that's Smith-Schuster. 25 yards that time.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's the Chiefs with the lead and the football here as we get set for quarter number 4. Mahomes now on first down. This pass going to be caught by Hardman, and he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Complete, the tight end, Kelsey. And he goes down at the 26. A pickup of 13, and that last play began at the 13. First down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. No hesitations, they go right back to Kelsey. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They go play action. Now Mahomes. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Well, that's going to bring up a big call now because he's unable to make the play himself on 2nd down. Now you just have to wonder, will they keep the ball in his hands on 3rd down?
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. And that is caught for a touchdown, Kansas City. Noah Gray, a 2-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. I heard you use the term put-away drop, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drop.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up in the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs, and if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Butker on for the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So that lines up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Reed opts for the touchback. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Herbert setting up to throw on first down. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Looking Austin Eckler's way again. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And Herbert able to get this one to Eckler out of the backfield. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A Charger first there as Herbert finds Williams. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He dumps it to Eckler underneath. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Chiefs are going to take over at their own 41. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way and worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And some room to roam now. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 83 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
Yeah, in this part of the game, the fourth quarter, this is where a running back really has a chance to shine. This is what they've been training for, to take over the game down the stretch. The defense, it's been battered all game long. And here, this is just a case of a runner imposing his will and deciding he didn't want to be tackled right there.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression that's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head? You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So for Kansas City, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Indianapolis next week. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.